Okay, here's some help with tonight's homework. First problem, 2 and 5/8 times 6 and 2/3. Before we can multiply, we need to change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. 2 and 5/8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5 is 21/8. 21/8 times 6 and 2/3 would be 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20/23. Now I'm going to do this both ways. I'm going to do it without simplifying first, and then I'm going to do it the way Mrs. Owen showed us in the video earlier today. If I just multiply across, 21/8 times 20/3, 21 times 20 is 420, and 8 times 3 is 24. And you can see that we're going to have quite a bit of reducing to do. We bring this down here, 420 over 24. I know for sure I can divide by 2. I have a common factor of 2. I think I see a common factor of 4 in there also, so let's start with divided by 4. I would get 420 divided by 4 is 105, and 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now if I add up 1 plus 0 plus 5, I get 6. So I know 105 is divisible by 3, and I know 6 is divisible by 3. So I can go one more step and divide by 3, and I get 35 over 2. Then I need to simplify that improper fraction to make it a mixed number. 35 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 one time. Subtracting, I'm left with 15. 2 goes into 15 7 times, with a remainder of 1. So 17 and 1 over 2. 17 and 1/2 would be the answer. Now let me do it the easier way. I think it's easier. We'll start with the same improper fractions, 21 over 8 times 20 over 3. And then I look across diagonally. I look at this numerator and this denominator, and I see I have a common factor of 4. So dividing by 4, 20 divided by 4 is 5, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now I look across this other diagonal, and I see that I have 21 in my numerator, 3 in my denominator, so I have a common factor of 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and now I multiply across. 7 times 5 is 35, 2 times 1 is 2, so we're at this point right here, 35 halves, 17 and 1/2. I think if you can simplify before you multiply, it's a lot easier to simplify. It's easier to see those common factors in this form than it is in this form. Okay, the last problem on the homework, write a fraction multiplication number sentence with a product of 1 and 1/2. So changing 1 and 1/2 to an improper fraction, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so that equals 3/2. So I want a multiplication number sentence with an answer or product of 3/2. As long as I have 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom, it doesn't matter what I have as my numerator denominator as long as they cancel out. So I could have 3 over 1 times 1/2, which would be 3 times 1/2 would equal 3/2, or I could have any number really in these other positions. I could have 5, because when I multiply across, I'll get 15 over 10, and then dividing by 5, I get 3/2. So this would be 3/5 times 2 and 1/2, because 5/2 is 2 and 1/2. Okay, I hope that helped with the homework. I'll see you in class tomorrow.